The upper gantry allows access to the molten steel pit, so be careful exploring up there. These conveyor belts lead up to the upper gantry. Try not to be in this area when the hot molten steel is poured. It goes through the hole there onto the rollers, unless something's in the way. The pit here is the hopper for the sheets of steel to fall into. An unlucky robot fall in there and you're out of the running. The huge furnaces there need to release some heat now and again, so be wary of sudden flames. You don't want to get too close to the corner patrol zones. Once you're in there, it's more pain than you can handle. Three, two, one. Activate! The crowd are waiting for something to happen here. The steel armour giving it some defence against the attack. Not too easy to cut into titanium armour. Titanium armour not as effective against that impact as they'd like. The Kevlar armour giving it great protection though. The steel armour quite resistant to the flame. My word! There's bits of robot all over the arena! The saw whirring, looks for an opening. Tough steel armour, making it harder to cut into, of course. The titanium standing up well to the punishment. The armour holding out well against the charge. The titanium standing up for now. How long will it hold out? This is classic Robot Wars! The Kevlar taking a battering but holding up. Trying hard to cut through the Kevlar. That's a silly move. They put themselves in the hopper. On a tremendous charge now. Speeding across the arena. Could be in for a shunting. Straight into the reach of shunt! It's heading for a collision! Keep away from the CPZs if you know what's good for you. Cease! Three, two, one. Activate! Those flames will toast them if they're not careful. Tricky to cut into the titanium. Luckily for them, the titanium won't be able to stand up to too much of that. The Kevlar, not the toughest armour against blades like this. Steel, not the easiest material to scorch effectively. The axe has been broken off. No more use out of that then. And Shunt sees his chance, here he goes! Titanium armour, not as effective against that impact as they'd like. Not too easy to cut into titanium armour. Bits and pieces everywhere. You could melt them down, I suppose, and make a whole new robot out of them. Not too difficult to cut into the Kevlar armour with the right weapon. Metal everywhere! And the crowd love it. They can't right themselves here. I'm afraid it's game over. Hacking away enthusiastically. But they'll be lucky to get a scratch on this tough machine. The armour holding out well against the charge. This has all the makings of a classic battle. The titanium standing up for now. How long will it hold out? The titanium standing up well to the punishment. Not too hard to cut into the aluminium, but it's putting up a brave fight. The aluminium shell, very flimsy protection against this onslaught. Bashing away at the Kevlar, but it's ideal to resist it. Off comes the axe, leaving them with much less attack power. That's a real blow. The titanium won't be able to stand up to too much of that. My word, there's bits of robot all over the arena. Not sure how long the aluminium armour can hold up against against this sort of impact. Tremendous force behind that charge. You can see the huge dent the impact made. The titanium armour not as effective against that impact as they'd like. The flipper just aiming to get underneath. The steel armour giving it some protection from the Cease!
Prepare yourself.
3, 2, 1. Activate! Those flames will toast them if they're not careful. Armour holding out well against the charge. Easy to punch through that aluminium armour with enough aggression behind it. The Kevlar armour giving it great protection though. The titanium standing up for now. How long will it hold out? Their spike's been broken off! The flipper not finding it too easy. But it's going over! The flame not getting far against the steel shell. Hard to make an impression on the polycarbonate, it's very tough. The steel taking the punishment well so far. The titanium won't be able to stand up to too much of that. They're lying on their back like a turtle in the sun. I'm afraid they can't seem to get back up. It's turtle soup for them. This is classic Robot Wars. The aluminium shell, very flimsy protection against this onslaught. Tricky to cut into the titanium, luckily for them. And it's going to be tough getting through the bulletproof glass on there. The titanium armour not as effective against that impact as they'd like. It's finding it hard to stand up to the slicing with just the aluminium armour. I'm not sure how long the aluminium armour can hold up against this sort of impact. The axe has been broken off! No more use out of that then! Not easy to smash through that polycarbonate shell. Wouldn't like to be cleaning the debris from the arena later on. Off comes the spike! They're going to have to try another tactic now! The armour holding out well against the charge, trying to cut its way through the polycarbonate. Bits and pieces everywhere. We could melt them down, I suppose, and make a whole new robot out of them. The bulletproof glass holding out against the burning heat. The aluminium armour, not much defence against this kind of attack. The titanium won't be able to stand up to too much of that. Metal everywhere, and the crowd love it. The steel taking the punishment well so far. Not a lot happening here. The crowd want more action. This has all the makings of a classic battle. The aluminium shell, very flimsy protection against this onslaught, and it's going to be tough getting through the bulletproof glass on there. The titanium armour not as effective against that impact as they'd like. The titanium standing up well to the punishment. The polycarbonate not such good defence against cutting attacks. They can't right themselves here. I'm afraid it's game over. I'm not sure how long the aluminium armour can hold up against this sort of impact. My word! There's bits of robot all over the arena! Not easy to smash through that polycarbonate shell. Tricky to cut into the titanium, luckily for them. The cutting attack doing its best to get through the bulletproof glass. The armour holding out well against the charge. This is classic Robot Wars! Not too hard to cut into the aluminium, but it's putting up a brave fight. Charging in with tremendous force! The titanium won't be able to stand up to too much of that. The polycarbonate shell standing up well so far to the heat, trying to cut its way through the polycarbonate. The steel taking the punishment well so far. Sergeant Bash is on duty, and his duty is to destroy. The blade thuds in and rips the shell a little. Their spike's been broken off! In they go! With the flamethrower blazing, nothing to lose. The polycarbonate, not such good defence against cutting attacks. Can they cease? And proving they could hold their nerve to the end. Our surviving contestant takes the championship prize with a fascinating display of martial prowess.